Well, she says, I don't know how to explain, but I am not satisfied. So what happened? When we're not satisfied, it's because there is a lack of something. There is this sensation inside of us, there is something missing, right? I get everything I want, but it's not enough. When that happens, it's because we are too much living in our ego thought system, right? We have two minds. We have the inferior mind, which is connected to our ego, and it's made to fulfill our desires or our needs or wants, and there we have our superior mind, which is connected to our higher self, which is connected to everything that exists and everything at one, right? So when we're connected to the ego, we're gonna feel that lack. We're gonna feel like, oh, there is something missing. But it's not the reality. This is just the perception you have that there is something missing in your life. Okay? So once you correct your perception, you're gonna feel that nothing is missing. Okay? So to correct your perception, I have an exercise that you can make that will help you. And after that, I'll pull a card to help you a little bit more, okay? But let's go to the exercise. The exercise, you're gonna say, you can say God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, whatever you believe, help me. I don't know how to reconnect with myself. I don't know how to reconnect with my higher self. Please help me find a way. And that's all that you need to ask. You can ask anything else you want, but if you ask that, you're gonna get there. But it needs to be like a truly desire, because the only thing that's gonna fill that void and satisfy you is when you are embodied in yourself, when you are comfortable being exactly who you are, like yourself, not your ego persona, right? Because when we are playing the persona, we're playing the masks, we're playing characters that we invented. We're not being ourselves. So when we're not being ourselves, we're not gonna feel satisfied, okay, in any situation. So ask for the truth, ask for the Holy Spirit to help you reconnect with yourself. And once you do that, you're gonna see that you're gonna be satisfied even with the smallest things. You don't even need to go to the big things, okay? So I'm gonna pull a card now. For that, I'm gonna use this deck, which is the Modern Nirvana Oracle. It helps you to reconnect with your intuition, with your higher self. And the card that I got for you is this one. It's called Synthesis, okay? I'm gonna read here in the book because there is a big text about it, and I think it's important. So the card says, imagine a multidimensional spider's web in the early morning covered with new drops. And every new drop contains the reflection of all the other new drops. And so ad infinitum. This is the Buddhist conception of the universe in an image. The metaphor of Indra's net system from both Buddhist and Hindu cosmology, and relates the metaphysical concept of non-duality. So I'm going to explain the end, okay? Let's keep moving. This is a very ancient knowledge, like Buddhism, Hinduism, non-dualism. You can look for Vedanta too. They're all like old ancient teachings, okay? It says Indra is a Vedic deity who is believed to be the god of the heavens and of the devas, which are gods. His net is infinite in dimension, and within this web is a structure of infinite, multifaceted jewels, and with each jewel, all other jewels are reflected. Imagine a precious lattice of life where all action is reflected, connected and interdependent upon the actors. A worldwide web of multidimensional movement which echoes through infinity. It says the Hegelian, I don't know how to say that. I think it's Hegelian dialect dialectic is a philosophical thought exercise where a point is met with a counterpoint and inevitably a compromise arrives. So let's see what else it says here. Okay, so then here it gives you a meditation to do, okay? So I'm gonna summarize here the meditation. It says, visualize Indra's net as the connective tissue between action and response. Every gel holds the reaction and reverberations, and the perception of it all is the compromise, because we as perceivers are still limited in our projection as we traverse through the illusory nature of reality. So here the meditation says this: close your eyes and visualize a crystal spider, however it may come to your mind's eye. Once you see the spider, imagine waving a web that begins with an action you've recently done and perhaps feel poorly about. As the web starts to perform a pattern, contemplate how the response to the action resonates in your reality. Next, in your mind's eye, imagine a gentle rain beginning to fall. See drops of water landing on the web. Look at it gel and see what's inside. It's a very deep exercise. Ask it to show you the reverberation and reaction of your actions through the landscape of time. Contemplate what you see. Zoom out until you can attain an eagle-eye view of this vision in your mind's eye. Witness the spider, the web, the drops of water within the pattern, and take note of how you feel when you observe this scene. Open your eyes and record any thoughts or feelings. And there is a mantra. I can take a picture of it and put in the end, okay? So it might be easy for you to do this meditation. The mantra says, I strive for perception, acknowledge my part in the greater cosmic connection. I see but understand there is always more than meets the eye. Infinity is ever present, even when it may be in disguise. I'm going to explain a little bit at the beginning because it's a little bit deep. I was telling you that we have two minds, right? The inferior mind and the superior mind. The inferior mind and the superior mind, they're divided, right? There was a whole story behind it. I'm not going to get into it, but you can look more for non-dualism teachings like the ones that I said, A Course in Miracles, Hinduism, Buddhism, Vedanta. They all teach the same thing. And what they say is, you here in this reality that we live in this world, the only perception that we have is the ego perception, which is a dualistic perception, which is divided perception. So we have black and white, right and wrong, good and bad, ugly and pretty. So what happened when we are in this I don't know how to say that, dualism, I think it's dualism, we cannot perceive the non-dualistic, because the non-dualistic is one perception, which is the true perception, which is the reality, which is the perception of God. We are only love. In the duality, we have the ego perception, which is connected with the inferior mind. The non-dualistic is connected with the superior mind, which is your higher self, right? So it's a little bit complicated. I don't know if I'm making myself understanding, but if I'm not, you can ask me again. I'll try to explain better. But it's all about being dualistic and non-dualistic. The non-dualistic is the real thought system, right? And when you are in the dualistic, you are on the ego, and then you're gonna feel this lack that you're feeling. You're not gonna feel satisfied with anything, because the ego thought system cannot satisfy anything. His first rule is never get satisfied. So you have, look around you, you have like a desire today. When you fulfill this desire, what's gonna happen next? Oh, that was it? Okay. Then it have this urge of a new desire, right? So every time you fulfill a desire, there is another, and it seems that it's never enough. So that's the ego thought system, which is the inferior mind. The higher mind, which is connected to spirituality, to God, that's when you find fulfillment, right? But you only get that when you turn inwards, when you turn inside and look for your higher self, which is also your intuition, God, the Holy Spirit. There is where you're gonna find your true satisfaction. So when you get to that point, you have no more needs in this world, because you're gonna realize that all your needs are already met and there is no lack anymore. So that's the point where you need to reach. I can tell you, there is a book that I told for the first person that asked me, which is The Disappearance of the Universe. It's a very interesting book for you to start. The name of the author is Gary Renard. So if you need the name for me to write it for you, you can DM me. But this is a very, very interesting book that will help you to expand a little bit your concepts and your view of the world, and then maybe help you to find the need, meet the needs of insatisfaction. Okay, so that's it, and I hope